Hello. The handsome and athletic Dennis is almost 40 years old, but has never had a girlfriend. The man has lived all his life in a small Danish town in a house with his mother. Yet the hope of finding love is still alive, even though his mother flatly refuses to become the number 2 woman in her son's life. Dennis gets on a plane under false pretenses and flies to the other side of the world, to the paradise full of beautiful women. A middle-aged, giant bodybuilder looks sadly at his reflection in a restaurant bathroom. He's on a date with a woman, but the evening is not going too well. Dennis Petersen is a professional athlete, but his job doesn't make enough money, which is why he has to work part-time as a security guard. The girl is unimpressed, and Dennis acts too indecisive and hardly talks. To somehow break the ice, his companion provokes him.
Sidder du og kigger på mine bryster?
Nej.
Du sidder og glor på mine bryster?
Nej, overhovedet ikke.
Dennis is embarrassed and mumbles that he simply liked the necklace. The date ends with nothing, and the man returns home, still living with his mother. He lies that he was at the movies with a friend and couldn't answer the phone. His mother doesn't believe him and keeps pestering him with questions. The petite Ingrid looks at her son menacingly, but then changes her expression abruptly and says that she was very worried about his well-being.
Jeg har været så urolig. Jeg tror, der er sket noget. Kan du ikke godt forstå det? Jeg bliver bange.
Dennis hugs his mother and tells her that he's already home with her, so she can calm down. He goes to his room, where he contemplates life in this hopeless situation. The shiny cups and medals won because of his impeccable muscles do not brighten his loneliness in any way. Instead, reminding him of his bygone youth. In 2 years, he will turn 40 years old. At his mother's house, Dennis is not even allowed to lock the door while using the shower. In addition to that, in the mornings, the two use the bathroom at the same time. The woman sits down for breakfast in her dress. They are going to visit their relatives.
Har du husket låsdøren?
Ja.
Er du sikker?
Dennis, as usual, obediently fulfills the whims of his anxious mother. They get in the car and drive to the elderly Uncle Bent's house. He has recently married a girl from Thailand, who clearly does not suit his age and appearance. Dennis celebrates with everyone else, but deep down inside he is upset and jealous of his uncle. His mother is skeptical about the marriage and disapproves of her brother's choice. The next day at the gym, Dennis sees the blonde girl that he was on a date with, but the woman walks by without even saying hello to him. In the evening, he goes to visit his uncle again and helps him pull the weeds out of his garden. In return, his nephew asks Bent to help him find happiness in Thailand too. Dennis carefully studies brochures and websites with hotels. Having made his decision, he finds the blonde at the gym and boldly declares to her that she is not his type and he will not go out on another date with her. At dinner, Dennis lies to his mother again about going to Germany for a week for a bodybuilding competition. As usual, Ingrid manipulates his emotions and claims that the boy warned her too late. Plus, he still has chores to do at home. With a menacing look, she drops the food and runs off to her room. The woman locks herself in there and does not speak to her son for several days, until the day of his departure. Dennis says goodbye to his mother as she hides under the blanket like a child. The man boards a plane and lands in Pattaya, full of hope. During the check-in at the hotel, the girl at the front desk offers to pay extra to immediately send a girl to his room. But naive Dennis doesn't realize what she has in mind and replies that he has come alone. He goes to meet a man named Scott, whom his uncle referred him to. Scott owns a bar with his Thai wife. He asks Dennis what kind of girls he likes.
Well, I mean, do you like big tits or small tits? Well, they've all got small tits here, anyhow.
But Dennis doesn't know what to answer and simply mumbles that he shouldn't pick a too young companion for him. Scott promises to arrange everything and says goodbye to the bodybuilder. On the way back to the hotel, the cab driver convinces the shy passenger to make a short stop at a certain store. Making a sharp U-turn, the driver brings Dennis to an atelier, where he buys himself a blue jacket at triple the price. At the hotel, he tries to call his mother, but she doesn't pick up. After the sunset, the man puts on his new clothes and heads to Scott's bar with a smile on his face. There, he meets other not-so-young white men with Thai women, and even Scott's son, who enjoys the benefits of his father's business. Soon, a girl named Fat sits down with Dennis and immediately begins to praise his muscles and unequivocally expresses her sympathy for him.
You show me your muscle.
No, I don't want to do it here.
You show me later.
Dennis is frightened by such pressure and feels very uncomfortable. The girl even follows him into the bathroom, where, just like his mother, she robs him of any privacy. Together, they leave the bar and go to Dennis's room, where Fat directly tells him how much it will cost to spend the night with her. At first, Dennis agrees, but then begins to have doubts.
Can we just talk a little bit?
Yes.
The guy says he feels bad and asks Fat to leave. He still pays her, and once alone, tries to call his mother again, to no avail. Dennis is upset and doesn't know what he should do now. He expected quite different things from his uncle's advice. The next day, he goes out for a walk and finds a local gym. There, he is greeted by the friendly manager Taya and a local bodybuilder prep who recognizes Dennis. Photographs of the contest winner have been printed in the magazine to show him a role model.
This picture I like. You have a great back.
They train together, and for the first time, Dennis feels comfortable in a foreign country. Prap invites Dennis to dinner with his friends tonight, but the man politely declines. Instead, he once again tries to find a wife at Scott's bar. Another young hottie behaves just like the first, asking to see his muscles and trying to hug him. Meanwhile, Scott announces that a drag queen performer is coming on stage to begin his show. Confused Dennis, in the Thai woman's embrace, looks around the bar with bewilderment and disgust. Obviously, this is not the place for him, and he will never find his happiness here. The man finds an excuse to sneak out and walks through the streets of Pattaya, dodging the girls of easy virtue. He calls Prap and finds the place where he is having dinner with a group of bodybuilders. Among them is Taya. The girl praises Dennis's jacket and strikes up a conversation with him. The man thinks Taya likes bodybuilding too, but the girl puzzles him with a negative answer. It turns out that the gym was once owned by her husband, who died 5 years ago, and she continued his business. Taya is surprised to hear that Dennis has never been in a serious relationship.
Don't worry, you are a nice man, so you will find someone.
As the guests start going home, the girl offers to go on a moped ride around town some other day. They visit the local market and then go to the temple and the beach. There, Dennis tries to kiss Taya, but she doesn't expect it and pulls away. The man is so embarrassed and frustrated that he tries to escape, but his plans are interrupted by the scooter that refuses to start. However, Taya assures him that everything is fine, so they ditch the broken bike and ride home together. Dennis says goodbye again and leaves for the hotel, but Taya stops him.
In Thailand, it's not normal to kiss in public, so you should not kiss outside.
She invites him to her house for dinner, where Dennis finally kisses the girl. While he retires to the bathroom, Taya changes into her lingerie and tries to hug Dennis, but he cannot cope with the anxiety again and runs away. But once he gets out into the fresh air, he stops. After all, he really likes Taya, and she clearly didn't do all of this because she wanted to make money like the other girls. He returns, and they confess their sympathy for each other. It ends with a hug and a night together. Dennis returns to Denmark, where he happily meets his mother. He tells her that he finished 6th in the competition, so he didn't bring any trophies, and that he got his tan because he went to the tanning salon. He quietly hangs up his blue jacket in the closet and later goes to find a place to live. In the evening, terribly nervous, Dennis knocks on his mother's room. He confesses that he went to Thailand to find a girlfriend just like Bent, and it worked. He's now in a relationship with Taya.
Det er ikke sjovt det der, Dennis.
The son apologizes for lying, but the mother pushes him out of the room in rage. In the morning, she takes matters into her own hands and uses her entire arsenal of pressure and manipulation. She interrogates her son about whether he slept with Taya, but Dennis gathers enough courage to eventually deny her these details. Ingrid demands him to stop all communication with the new girlfriend, or she will never forgive Dennis for his lies and rudeness. The son sees that it's useless to prove anything to his mother now and agrees with her on everything, but this turns out to be just a trick. Soon, he meets his beloved at the airport with flowers. Dennis takes Taya to his rented apartment and gives her a pendant. Prior to this, he managed to tell her that he lives with his mother in a house, which is why she is surprised that he invited her to an apartment. Dennis again lies that his mother is very ill and he has to take care of her, so he can't introduce them to each other just yet. The next day, the couple goes to the mall, where Dennis notices his mother walking towards them. He tries to hide and pushes Taya into the lingerie department, but it's not easy for a giant like him to hide, and his mother notices him. Ingrid is happy to see her son and asks why he's not at practice. Taya approaches them, and the man lies in Danish that she is the sister of his uncle's wife, who has come from Thailand to visit and is staying with them. However, none of this explains why Dennis is choosing women's lingerie with her. In addition, Taya asks Ingrid in English about her health. The woman is puzzled and does not understand what this is all about. But when the woman begins to realize what's going on, Dennis takes Taya and simply runs off with her.
Er det hende? Svar mig! Er det hende?
Taya feels very uncomfortable about this situation, but Dennis just sighs heavily and takes her back to his apartment while he rushes to his mother's house. There, he sees that Ingrid has hurt her hands badly. While her son was away, she broke into his room and caused a real mayhem there. Dennis looks with sadness at the broken cups, computer, and picture frames. Another tough conversation begins with Ingrid, trying to find out how long Taya has been in Denmark and when she is going to leave. But Dennis doesn't fall for this menacing tone anymore and answers his mother that it's none of her business.
Ligesom din far. Jo, du er så.
Dennis's father had left Ingrid before he was born, so the son had never seen his dad. Or maybe such a legend is just another manipulation by his mother to evoke pity for herself. In any case, Dennis informs her that he is moving out to live together with Taya in Denmark. Ingrid tries to shame her son again.
Jeg kunne aldrig nogensinde finde på at svigte dig på den måde.
Stop nu.
The only thing left in her arsenal is tears. And of course, the woman uses them immediately. Dennis calmly helps Ingrid bandage the wound and begins to pack. Before departing, he hugs his mother tightly and leaves, despite the final plea to not leave her alone. Dennis gets into the car, where Taya is already waiting for him. They ride off to build their future together. As always, look for the name of the movie in the video description. In the meantime, let us know in the comments. Do you think Dennis has any chance of building a healthy relationship? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so more awesome stories come out as often as possible.